This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by Carbonite. Coming up on Destructoid, DayZ might be shambling its way to consoles, Far Cry 3's April Fool's prank might be a real, actual thing, and the OUYA's launch lineup is announced. Oh my, all that and more right now on Destructoid.
Welcome to Destructoid. I'm Tara Long.
And I'm Max Scoville.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday Newsday, Tara Long.
You couldn't have sounded more excited about that OUYA launch lineup.
I should have said, ooh yeah.
Ooh yeah.
The ooh yeah.
And then burst through a brick wall.
Yes, with juice for everyone.
Yes.
Now we've got actually a lot of exciting stuff to talk about.
I know. I have to admit, I'm a little disappointed that our show did not fall on April Fool's this year.
Yeah.
We could have done something really
fun. Yeah, we could have done weird things, but hey,
we probably wouldn't have.
Apparently people didn't like April Fools this year. I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, last year I feel was a little bit better on the internet.
Oh my. Anyway, so before we start the show, here's one piece of news that isn't really news. Rockstar released the official box art for Grand Theft Auto 5, and it looks just like every other game in the series released since 2001 when Grand Theft Auto 3 came out. So, you know, if you were expecting some kind of a drastic rebranding of the game logo look thing, then you're out of luck. But hey, there's a dog. Look at the dog. Oh, yeah. All right, so as we were saying, yesterday was April Fool's Day, and there was a lot of wacky, fun, fake news that nobody thought was remotely entertaining because the internet is apparently a cold and humorless place since last year. But one piece of wacky, fun news that I think might actually be a legit thing is the announcement of Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Okay, so the bulk of the story is that this crazy retro neon GeoCities looking website popped up for an upcoming film called Far Cry Blood Dragon, and it features a teaser trailer and which really just shows off the logo and has some kind of VHS distortion going on. And there are a couple of very nice songs embedded in the site, which are both just solid retro synthesizer heavy ear porn. According to a brief synopsis on there that still claims that this is a movie, Blood Dragon is set in the far-off year of 2007, following a nuclear war when Mark IV cyber commando Sergeant Rex Power Colt has been sent to a remote island in search of a powerful bioweapon. It sounds fun to me. Now, all of this would probably be, seem like a corny April Fool's joke, if not for the fact that a list of Xbox achievements got leaked a while ago, and we were kind of just, we were waiting to see what happened with that. And there's also the fact that the ratings have turned up from both the Australian and Brazilian, video game classification boards. It's one thing for a goofy website to show up on April Fool's Day, and it's another thing for some, achievements to maybe get leaked. That could be fake too. But involving government ratings boards seems a bit far-fetched for just a gag. On the website, there's a faux interview with the project's director, Alexis Graveyard, which is mostly incoherent nonsense and very artsy and pretentious and lots of fun, except for one bit where he alludes to the star, Rex Power Colt, being impersonated by the star of Aliens, Terminator, and The Abyss, who, if I'm not mistaken, would be Michael Biehn, from those films. On top of all that, there's also this leaked box art, which looks completely outrageous and also features a character who looks an awful lot like Michael Biehn. What do you know? What have we here? Also, look at that box art! Holy mother of God, is that a dragon? I think it's a dragon. Oh! So Ubisoft hasn't said a damn thing to confirm or deny whether this is real or not, but all signs are pointing to yes, it is real, and give it to me now because my God, it sounds like the coolest game ever. It's completely unclear if this is going to be like a standalone thing or an expansion pack or something else, but a corny faux 80s cyberpunk version of Far Cry 3 literally sounds like my dream game, so I will, by all means, be very happy to tell you guys about it as we know more.
Yeah,
so.
No, this is awesome. I saw the box art, or maybe it wasn't the box, I think it was the box art or something that leaked way back when, and I was like, this is awesome, and then when they actually unveiled it on April Fool's, I was like, oh, was this supposed to be an April Fool's joke?
It could have been like the
weird.
long con, but the ratings classification, that's
I don't know.
Story.
Either way, that is exciting.
Anyway, back to serious games.
Yes, so if you watch TV at all, really, then maybe you saw the Last of Us commercial that debuted during the season finale of The Walking Dead. It's just a 30-second trailer that basically makes the game look like a zombie game starring Ellen Page. Like, what more could you want? It doesn't really say much beyond that. But Naughty Dog did just release the extended version of that trailer, the Red Band trailer, which is 2 minutes long, and it sort of explains how Joel and Ellie come to be together. So the basic premise is that he promises an old friend that he will escort this 14-year-old girl, Ellie, across the country, and then the whole game is just sort of their pilgrimage there. Obviously, they're walking across the country, so it's going to take a while. The game, I assume, is set over a period of several months, seeing as how there are different climates and seasons. You can see some snow in there in one part, looks like spring in other parts. The game just looks fantastic, like especially how the outside areas, like the forested scenes, are absolutely gorgeous. On a deeper level, it does seem like a much darker and more mature experience than a lot of the other zombie games out there right now. And the developers say that the game explores themes of loyalty, love, and redemption, and that there are going to be plenty of moral dilemmas and decisions you will have to make. I did find it interesting that in the trailer, they chose to showcase not just the emotional moments of the game, but also the really gross and gory ones. Like, the dude just got his head sliced clean off. You don't see that in a lot of trailers. And I've been seeing a lot more games these days trying to sort of strike that balance between emotional impact and almost unnerving violence. And it's really hard to pull off successfully. I feel like BioShock Infinite is a really good example of a game that has done that very well. And hopefully The Last of Us can mirror that, because if it does, I think it has a place in the running for Game of the Year.
The connection is the voice actor Troy Baker, who I was hollering at on Twitter because I really hope a Red Band trailer doesn't become the new marketing thing. They unveiled The Last of Us with a video of a guy getting shot in the face with a shotgun.
Yep.
Like, typically that's for like R-rated stuff, and typically M-rated games are age-gated anyway. So my fussiness aside, hey, speaking of zombies, you guys want to talk about zombies some more? Too bad. Things are sounding pretty good for the possibility of a console version of DayZ. This is something people have been begging for and kind of speculating about ever since one of the promotional screens of the PlayStation 4's user interface had DayZ 100 as a player's PSN ID. DayZ creator Dean Hall spoke to The Escapist recently, saying, and I quote, quite happily, if we don't, for want of a better word, fuck it up, the PC release, then I would say a console port is almost certain. So, then point out that PC gamers seem to get hot and bothered about console versions of things, but as a PC gamer himself, he really doesn't see any reason why a console version has to hurt things. Now, about that hypothetical DayZ screen name the dude had in the PS4 demo, Dean Hall went on to say that it appears to be the kind of game that Sony are interested in. I think we just have to wait and see. We talked and met with Sony, and they're very, they're obviously interested.
Somebody's hottie.
So that's good news. That's exciting. I'd be okay with a DayZ standalone on PS4. Be cool
Sony seems like the company who would most step forward and adopt a game like this for their platform.
People left and right these days. While we're on the subject of good news relating to DayZ, it's probably worth mentioning some bad news relating to the War Z, that terrible, shameless knockoff game that's somehow still around.
I think it's only still around because people accidentally confuse it with
exactly.
DayZ.
Well, the good news is it's been taken offline. The bad news is it's because of a security breach that has compromised the usernames, passwords, and IP addresses of an unknown number of both players and forum members. The game's publisher, OP Productions, assures players that payment info is safe, but still, the game that really sucks continues to keep on sucking.
Breaking news, more at 11.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the OUYA has finally announced the launch lineup for its system, which is going to be available in stores starting June 4th. There are currently 104 titles announced for the release date, and chances are you will recognize less than 5 of them. The most recognizable ones include Cannibalt, which almost everybody has on iOS, Final Fantasy III, which they say will be an exclusively remastered version specifically for the OUYA, as well as Wizorb and Oregon Trail, all of which are already on mobile devices. This list also includes apps that come pre-installed on the device, like Twitch.tv, and emulators, because why else would you buy an OUYA? I mean, aside from Donut Get, the game where you try to get donuts to land into a cop's mouth? Yeah, I don't want to make any early predictions, but that is Game of the Year.
Take that,
for
Grand
sure.
Theft Auto 5.
Yeah. In all seriousness, it's really fucking sad if you have to include emulators for other consoles on the launch lineup for your console. I mean, I know that's one of the perks of the system, but where's Broken Age, the Double Fine adventure game that was supposed to be one of the few exclusives OUYA actually had? It's nowhere to be found on this list. Instead, we get a bunch of free-to-try games that no one has ever heard of. I mean, I'm sure there's some good stuff in there, and granted, it's only going to get better as time goes on, but I really don't see this system appealing to many people beyond the indie developer community, even with the low price tag. I mean, there's just nothing here that really stands out as being awesome. It reminds me actually of one of those old like 101 games for the price of one packages that they used to sell for like SNES or like Genesis or even PC. Look, games for Windows. You see?
Man, those all look extremely licensed and official.
Gourmania 3 Zoo Zoom? Yeah.
Wow.
That's comparable.
Oh, jeepers.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. It's going to be interesting to see how OUYA does when it actually goes out into the world and, you know, tries to make a living. In the meantime, we got to make a living too, so it is time for a word from our sponsor. Hey! Everybody's got important stuff on your computer, whether it's your work in progress great American novel, those intimate photographs of your ex, or the flip cam videos of your drunk friends. But what happens to those if your computer gets messed up? Well, when you have Carbonite, your files are automatically and continually backed up and stored offsite, so whether your computer crashes, gets stolen, or explodes with the force of 1,000 suns because you got too many Skyrim mods on it, your files are safe. Even if you delete a file by accident, you are covered, and if you forget to back up, that's okay because Carbonite does it automatically. Whether you've got a single computer in your house or an entire cyber cafe worth of devices, Carbonite is the better backup plan. Over 1 million customers trust Carbonite to protect their important business documents and hilarious cat photos, and with plans starting at just $59 a year, you can too. Start your free trial at Carbonite.com, and when you use the offer code Destructoid, you'll get 2 months free if you decide to buy. Again, that is Carbonite.com, and the offer code Destructoid gets you 2 bonus months.
Good read.
Thank you.
All right, back to the show. GDC has been over for a few days now, and seeing as how we're a relatively small team here at Revision 3, our news coverage is still slowly trickling out over on our Rev 3 Games channel. Just today, we put up our XCOM face-off video in which Adam Sessler had Jake Solomon, the designer of last year's XCOM Enemy Unknown, meet face-to-face for the first time ever with Julian Gollop, the designer of 1994's original XCOM UFO Defense. So very, very awesome video. Go watch that if you're into either of those games. We also put up an interview that Adam did with Suda51 about his new game, Killer is Dead, which is the spiritual successor, of course, to Killer 7, and it looks balls out wacky in the best way possible. So, yeah, that's also up there. We've also got an interview that you did, Max, with Injustice Gods Among Us.
Yeah, and everyone got mad at me for saying in the interview, it's like Mortal Kombat with DC superheroes, right? To the guys who made Mortal Kombat.
You pulled an Adam Kovic
Yeah,
there.
I'm such a rude man. Good Lord. Yeah, that's a fun interview.
So that's up there. We've also got a few hands-on videos from Anthony, who was able to check out some of the IGF's offerings. He saw 30 Flights of Loving, Samurai Gun, and Super Space Blank, which is hard. It's not intuitive to say. And many more videos to come, guys. Last but not least, Casual Friday was filmed on location at GDC this week. I sat down with Max and Scott Bromley of, well, you guys might know him from the Comedy Button, but also Revision 3's Tech Feed. Yeah, you know, it's that weird podcast.
Yeah.
So we all gathered around a round table to discuss our experiences in virtual reality, because we all got to play around with the Oculus Rift and play Hawken on it, and it was amazing and awesome. And we have so many things to say about it. So all of that and more can be found over on youtube.com/Rev3Games. And hey, if you're on the internet already, why not just go to the twitter.com page and follow us.
Do it.
I am Tara Longest, he is Max Scoville, and the show is on there at Detoid Show.
Normally this is the part where we'd say, tune in on Friday for a live show. We have prizes for all of you, but unfortunately we will not have a live show this Friday because our producer has weird stuff to do this weekend. So we're gonna have a regular episode up around the same time, but we love you. We still love you, I promise. Baby, no.
Like
Don't
weird
go.
sex stuff?
I don't know. He's sent a memo about it. Anyway, see you guys later.